Right, welcome. My name is Sarah. I have an oracle card reading for you today. It is a very interesting one. Got the cards in front of me. I have spent time with them. So, very important to understand before I start talking about the message. Dreams are the context for this. Dreams have very much been the kind of central theme of my last, I think, 3, maybe 4 readings. So majority of the readings that I've posted to my channel have been discussing some aspect of that realm of the dream realm. This message here it feels to me as though it is an explanation. It has a sense of if it being like an explanation. So notes as usual. Okay, so dreams have been the primary way in which a particular thing has been dealt with or overcome. Dreams have been the primary mode for that. I've actually written overcome / avoided. So, okay. So there's something. I had the Massive Attack song Angel very much, very strongly in my mind whilst I've been working with these cards, sitting with this message. It kind of keeps tuning in and tuning back out. So, Massive Attack, Angel. It's really like a particular lyric or a particular kind of verse. It is, her eyes, she's on the dark side. Her eyes neutralize every man in sight. So that song is from the album Mezzanine, which is defined, and mezzanine is defined as an intermediary floor, right? An intermediary floor. And the album cover is a black and white image of a black stag beetle. So all of that, the name of the band, Massive Attack, the track title, Angel, the lyrics, those specific lyrics, the black stag beetle and mezzanine, it's all kind of relevant here. And it's interesting because black stag beetle I have some personal associations with beetles, but it wasn't really feeling like those associations were necessarily the message here, or part of the message here. So I had a quick look on Google, and the thing that stood out about the symbolism of black beetles quite generally is perseverance. And it's interesting because I got dressed this morning and I'm wearing my favourite t-shirt, and on the back there is a print, it's a pattern, and on the bottom in Japanese, in kanji, it says perseverance brings good fortune. So perseverance is, that just indicated to me that perseverance is in fact the message of the black stag beetle on the Massive Attack album cover. Okay. So right, quick intro recap. The dream space is the primary mode, the primary way that a particular thing has been overcome, has been avoided. So I think that this message is now explaining aspects of a situation that has previously been out of view or unknown. I'm going to get into the cards now. Okay. So the first card out was this Sun card. Sun. So I immediately noticed here this moon. Looks very much like moon to me. And the moon is what can be seen clearly. The sun is obscured. It is obstructed. There's like this diffuse light showing from behind this obstruction, but the moon is in clear view. Okay, so it was talking about paradox and how there would usually be those associations with sunlight and clarity, right? Clarity, being able to see something clearly. But this card, or this aspect of this card, was telling me the lunar, the thing that is more often associated with kind of illusion or not being able to see clearly, is actually the thing that is going to provide the clarity. So the paradox of that. So that was the first thing. But this figure here, this is an energy or an entity of the 12th house. It's like it lives there. This one lives in the 12th. It is of the 12th house. It is an occupant. But all of these bits of fire down here, these sparks, I don't know if any of y'all are familiar with gold leaf, like gold leaf. It is basically gold that has been hammered and hammered and hammered and hammered until it is microns thick, right? And you can apply that flattened gold leaf onto numerous surfaces. And when you do that, you have to apply a solution called size to the surface, because it makes the gold adhere to it. Yeah, so size is a bit like a glue sort of varnish. When you apply the gold leaf, it sticks to the size, and then you get a gilding brush and you dust off the gold leaf that hasn't adhered to the surface. You dust it off, and it's usually these gold flakes. So this was talking to me about that, about gilded, and all these kind of flakes. It that started to come through as like a gilded cage. It's a gilded cage. Yeah. So this figure steps into the path of the sun, right? Moves into the way of the sun. So it moves into the way of the sun, it gets in the way of clarity, this energy, this figure here. Clarity and solar aspects. Yeah. And look at the figure, that like it's hard to make out what's going on. You know, there's a lot of well, I mean, the figure is depicted as wearing a mask. Or is depicted as it's some kind of masking. They're quite, there's something about them that's just, it's hard to make out, right? Yeah. So it's paradox again. It's like something that's hard to make out, even though it's lit up and it's brighter. It's like it's still difficult to see what's going on. It's still a kind of jumble, or it's dusty. There's, you know, like that idea of kicking up dust to sort of not, you know, to hinder sight, or like a dust storm, a kind of, yeah. Excuse me, looking down at my notes. Right. It's a decoy. that was how it's this energy, this entity, this individual that is an occupant, resides in the 12th house, but they are coming through here as a decoy. And that was talking about with the gold and the gilded cage. They appear in the path of the true sun to obscure or to obstruct, to get in the way of, because they are trying to decoy and lead somebody, lead the dreamer into a gilded cage. So it's like this, it's this really deceptive, almost kind of tactical energy. So they're appearing in the dream space, they have been appearing in the dream space. It's this kind of all that glitters, to try to lure and kind of coax the dreamer in a particular direction, but that direction is leading into a gilded cage, which is this, it's like an entrapment, isn't it? It's trying to imprison or entrap someone in a gilded cage. Some kind of luxury or some kind of wealth. I feel like it's talking more about solar. Like solar, which has got many associations and will have prominent associations for different people. So it's some kind of solar kind of lure that likely has some kind of appeal, but ultimately it's taking into a gilded cage, or that's what it's trying to do. That's the point that it's trying to get the dreamer to. So this is what the dreams have been helping with. This is what's the dreams have been helping to overcome, to avoid, right? To avoid this, because there is this really strong sense of like it's got an allure to it. It is like, oh, shiny things, you know, that probably it's sort of quite understandably would maybe catch one's attention. Someone would look in that direction, but it's this kind of deceptive vibe. It's, yeah, trying to lure into a kind of captivity, which I don't like that word, but I do have it. So the dreams have been helping to avoid this. They've been assisting, they've been guiding. So the next card out was the Rainmaker. Now this too is coming through as an energy of the 12th house. They occupy it. They are present in that realm. And there is, I kept getting the word animosity. There is animosity. These are not energies that are friendly towards each other. There is this hostility, but animosity was the word I kept getting. And interestingly, so the root of the word animosity is in Latin, it's animus, and then late Latin, animosus, right? So it's talking about the spirit, the mind. But these feel as if they're sort of separate energies, because there's this animosity between them, this kind of hostility. But this Rainmaker, the first thing I got with that was like the angel, right? Angel, because of these look like wings to me, or they're coming through here as wings. It's communicating wings. And then the Massive Attack song kind of blended, so it went from Angel, and then I got the tune Protection started coming in, right? But a particular bit, so I stand in front of you, I take the force of the blow. I'll stand in front of you, I take the force of the blow. So this one was actually coming in as like, don't look at the shiny gold, don't look down there. And it's just, sorry, that was, it's like it comes in with this really kind of powerful and kind of all-encompassing, like it comes in and it fills a space, it fills the emotions, it fills the mind, the dreams. It's talking about it coming in this really kind of powerful way, and it's just, its presence is big. And the presence of this one was big as well, but there is something about this. This is the neutralizing. This is the neutralization, the energy that's in here, neutralization. So neutralize, to make something ineffective by introducing an opposing effect or force, right? So this one, with its water magic, its Rainmaker, which was connecting to the moon as well, right? Connecting it to the moon as well. Is coming in a big way to neutralize the kind of baiting of this one, like the solar baiting of this one. Just coming in, like, don't look over there. So they're standing in front, right? It's like the dreamer going into their dream space, and they meet this figure. They meet with this one, right? Met with that one. And then this one comes in. Sort of standing in front and saying no. Don't follow the bait. Don't go down there. It's deceptive. Yeah, they're neutralizing. But like on a muggy day when the rain kind of clears and it breaks the air, the atmosphere, it brings like relief and release. It was coming in with that, but this really like all-encompassing. It's all-encompassing. Really fills. Yeah, hugely powerful energy that acts as a shield with a wide encompassed reach. Keep doing this. So it also started to bring to mind velociraptors, right? My only reference of which is Jurassic Park, and because they have it's velociraptors, isn't it, that they kind of have the fans that come out of the side of their head. So it started to bring in this idea of Velociraptor, but this was an interesting part of the message, right? Because I can't remember the character's name, but it's that guy. It's like big lad. He wears glasses, and he was in a few 90s films, but Jurassic Park's the only one I can think of. It's the only one that's really relevant here. But he's one of the scientists, and he steals something, doesn't he? He tries to steal something. He tries to steal, like, something important. Is it some kind of DNA or genetic, what have you? But he tries to nick it. And then he's in the car, isn't he? He's in the car, he's kind of got away with it and and it's absolutely shitting it down. It's raining really hard, and he's in the car, and he gets out, doesn't he? And he loses it or something, and he gets out, and the Velociraptor gets him because he was trying to steal. He's trying to steal something, and this one's trying to steal someone away, trying to steal them down this kind of path into a gilded cage, trying to kind of steal them away. So there's that with the Velociraptor. But it was this idea of something. So this is a friend to the dreamer, is this energy. It's a friend. It's been assisting, supporting, providing for the dreamer to overcome this, because this has got a big energy to it as well. And I want to say that the lure, the pull, the enticement, if that's appropriate, I don't know if it is quite the right way to describe it, but it's strong. It's very strong, and it does have this strong solar aspect to it, you know. That's what the energy is, but it's got all this kind of other stuff woven into it. So this is powerful as well. So this has come in as a big energy, yes, like an all-encompassing, fills the space, but the Velociraptor, it's communicating like in intensity. It's like, yes, this one is a friend. Yes, this one has come in to provide support, to help, all those kinds of things. But as if, you know, if you were walking down, if you're just out and about having a walk, yeah, on a sunny path with some shady trees, and, you know, shadows were kind of doing some funny things, but ultimately sunny day or whatever. And you'd probably keep on going down that path, wouldn't you? Or, you know, keep going down that path. If there is then a Velociraptor that crops up, it gets the attention. You're like, well, I'm going to deal with this Velociraptor then. I'm going to do that. Do you know what I mean? It has a presence and an intensity, and it communicates something, and you immediately have to act upon it. Whereas this one, there is something kind of insidious lurking in this one, but it is much more tucked away, much more kind of, it's much more murky. So there's not the immediacy. There's not the immediacy with this. It's like it's sticky, like the size for the gold leaf. Yeah, it's like sticky. It's trying to get you to adhere to a particular thing or path. It's trying to get you into that gilded cage. So this, I think, has shown up in the dream space or shown up in a material world equivalent as something with intensity that has to be addressed, right? It fills the attention, it comes in and it fills the attention, and have to give your attention to it. It has to be dealt with or managed, or it's just a very immediate experience. It comes in like that. But it's got like Lilith was starting to come in here as well, like the idea of Lilith. It's got a bit of Lilith to it. So there's, yeah, it's like it's characterized by intensity in some way, and it's there and it has to be dealt with. So it's like a distraction. It's kind of like a distraction from a decoy. So the decoy is trying to kind of lead to where, no, don't want to go. And then a distraction kind of comes in. Don't look over there. We know it's really alluring. Focus on this. Focus on this. But the nature of this energy is intense. So it's like, this isn't an easy experience either. Do you know what I mean? It's like this is maybe a bit easier, or it's got that shiny, ooh, shiny. So it's kind of, in some sense, it's easier to move in that direction, or it there's not much resistance because the pull of the lure is quite strong, yeah? So it's like something a bit hypnotic about it, or a bit, you know, it's like being lulled into or onto this path, or into this gilded cage, you know, kind of lulled. But this one is like a shock out of that, in a sense. Not to try and scare, but it's a joy. It comes in this big way. I think like big intensity. And part of the benefit of that is it breaks that hypnotic kind of gaze towards this sun energy. It breaks it really quickly in a really big way, but then there's this intensity to deal with, yeah? So not an easy energy either, yeah. So then we have the next card is the 12th house. It's the lower worlds, but it was very much communicating to me the 12th house. 12th house. Yeah, right, and there's a bridge, which was, I mean, it's a bridge, it's not strictly a mezzanine, but it was bringing in the idea of mezzanine in like an intermediary passage, right? If the mezzanine is the intermediary floor, it's like intermediary passage from one point to another, from one space into another. Yeah, the Rainmaker is of water magic, thus the moon. To let you pass. It protects powerfully to let you pass. It's like trying to Yeah, trying to pass from space to space. Maybe all within the 12th house as well. Different energies, different occupants of the 12th, right? It's like trying to kind of lead away from a particular one, from this gilded cage energy, this energy of lure, and yeah, pass out of or across the intermediary floor without being baited back in. Oh yeah, man. Oh, so without being baited back in or in any other direction. Because of the next, well, there's a card coming up that very much talks to me about direction. Oh, it's the next card. It's me. It's this arrow card. Yeah, me. Yeah. So it's, yeah, man, the Rainmaker. Has been helping the navigation or the passing through of some particular aspect or area, space within the 12th house to break the lure of this deceptive sun energy and to ensure that you're not kind of pulled back in, or not misdirected or pulled in some other direction, to set straight, right? To set in the direction you're supposed to be going in. It was this idea of directing, using the fire to direct. Free fire. It was talking about free fire, right? There's no cage. No cage around this one. There's all this beautiful golden energy. It's talking about this free fire. Yeah, being led away from restrictive fire into this free fire. No cage. No cage. This is like this true direction where there's no gilded cage. There's solar energy, but there ain't no cage. There's no captivity. There's no entrapment. Come back. Right, so then we've got this floor card here. So this was lunar as well, or this was communicating lunar because of this. I mean, the colouring of the card, but also this orb in the background here. But both of these energies, so the Rainmaker and this figure in the floor card, are both handling this powerful water magic, was how it came through. It's like this water magic. They can do this powerful stuff. They are of the same element. They work with the element in different ways, but each know its power and its uses. Dexterity in this element. Yeah, dexterity and skill. A lot of power there, yeah. Powerful flow. Then he was talking about kind of going with the flow, directing the flow, going with the flow and creating it. The true aim, the direction. Something being understood through action and feeling what you are capable of. Okay. I feel I would like to... I think this card represents the dreamer. Right, so entering into the dream space, the 12th house in this case, entering into that. I don't know if they enter into it in this energy though, or whether this is something that is who they have become in the 12th, what skill they have honed, acquired, gained dexterity with, mastered. I kept, there have been master numbers whilst I've been sitting with this message. So there's 11, 33 and 44. There's a 22 here. Ghost dance was the underlying energy, it's 22. So this is like, this is perhaps an energy of having mastered. So the dreamer goes into the 12th house dream space. They meet with this energy. It's trying to pull them in this particular direction, but it's deceptive and it's a gilded cage. Strong, intense energy kind of steps in, protects, fills the space, and although helping and incredibly beneficial and supportive and a friend, there is something very intense about the experience of this one, and it kind of demands attention. It demands attention. There's intensity. It's all happening in this space, but there's something about having to move from one area to the other, from one area to another, or to move out, something like that. And by the time that is happening, there's this mastery, there's this real kind of skill in being able to use water magic. I keep wanting to say like water magic. So the card on the split, should I go there? So this. The card on the split was the rattle. Now the rattle, so this is from the book that came with the deck, yeah? The rattle is the spirit caller. Do not let your hesitation get in the way of your expression. The other thing I wrote down was... okay, I can't find it, but it talks about using gifts of spirit mindfully, because if they're not used mindfully, they can be harmful. So there was something about this here as well. It's like, and not hesitating, but also having to be mindful. It's like it's a gift, spiritual gift. It's been unlocked in the 12th. It's been unlocked in the 12th. This one has been there as a big decoy. almost like a decoy saying, I'm the gift is this way, the gift. But it fucking wasn't. This one comes in with this intensity. Let's go get your gift. Let's go get your gift. Gifted, yeah? Gifted. So being guided there by the spirit. So the thing about hesitation with the rattle, so this energy, it's like a bit of an infiltration energy. It is something that infiltrates, it kind of gets in and it is absorbed in a sense, yeah. Remember, dreams are the context for this, right? If solar energy, right, so doesn't have to literally be golden shiny, but creative energy, sexual energy, sort of gold catches, you know, it's got a kind of aesthetic appeal to it. It's got an allure for most people. So something like that showing up in a dream space, it's like that solar energy is there. It is there. It's not that the solar energy itself is a lie, like, you know, it's that there's this really heavy masking, there's this deception to it. There's more in it. But it's obscured by the shininess of it. I keep wanting to say shiny. It's like the sparkle. It's that idea of all that glitters, right? All the glitters ain't gold. There's more in it, but it's like there's all the shiny stuff is distracting, or it just really, it's almost like it's blinding. What was I forgot what point I was even trying to make with that. It's maybe that it's like it's kind of, it's been so solar. It's like having the sun in your eyes on a sunny day, right? You can't deny that it's the sun, that the sun is in your eyes, but you can't see, can you? You can't. It kind of sun blinds you. It's got a bit of that. It's like you can't deny that it was the sun, that it had all that in it, all that kind of solar stuff in it. It's like kind of being deceived by it in a way that I want is maybe quite understandable. It's why this kind of this intensity came in, this kind of protective, no, look at me and deal with this. You need to look at this. This is important. It's like bringing something to you. They're bringing you some shades. I think what I was trying to say is that there is perhaps that thing about hesitation and expression that came through with the rattle. It has perhaps, understandably, perhaps produced a kind of wariness or a kind of mistrust or an uncertainty about solar solar elements, solar things that show up in the dream space, right? So the rattle's kind of here. Basically, it might have bred some, or given rise to some hesitation. So now solar things in the dream space, solar symbols, solar depictions, solar energies there's a hesitancy with them. So it's saying power. Yeah. Remember that, remember this. My ears are starting to pop again. It's really annoying. Have a drink. So there were some other cards that are, they're kind of a side note, and they're not. They are and they aren't. They all came out, they all flew out on this arrow. So I got the Sweat Lodge, the Vision Quest. I'm gonna hold them all up together. Sweat Lodge, Vision Quest, and Wind. And they came out on the arrow. Lilith. The Sweat Lodge very much came through as a vulva, a cooch, a yoni, a nunny, however you want to refer to her. But it was very much coming through as that, like, feminine, yeah. And it came through as like a yoni steam. A yoni steam. And this Vision Quest was talking about the experiences that can be moved through or entered into through this practice of yoni steam, right? So seeing things in our mind's eye, but it talks to me about movement, does this card, but like movement and sensation, like bodily sensation, but it coming, I mean, I suppose it wouldn't have to be a yoni steam. That would only be applicable really to folks with a yoni, wouldn't it? But it kind of was communicating that primarily. It was like yoni, yeah, vulva. That's why I've just mentioned Lilith here, right? There's something about that. There's something about the true sun. There's something about seeing the true sun, knowing the true sun through, if it's not a yoni steam, it's some kind of like a cleansing practice that might have an element of intensity to it, right? Intensity doesn't have to mean bad or whatever, it just means intense, yeah. But he was talking about there being like a vision of the true sun. Vision of the true sun. yeah, it's something about if the dream space has been a hard one, yeah, like an actual, a bit of a what the fuck one, right? There's something here about other practices that put you in the experience of your body, and there will be sensations and indications from the physical body that like affirm something, confirm, reiterate, but it's whatever the practice is, the space that's entered into through it, it leads to this being able to see the true sun. So it's like, if in doubt, do the practice, enter into that, and it will be seen, it will be known, it will be reiterated, it will be there. So the wind was talking about, actually kind of with, it was talking about kind of clearing debris, not literally, but like energies from the yoni, from the womb. It was talking about clearing that out, like the energetic movement, sweeping out the metaphorical debris that just energetically just really kind of removing that, right? And then beautifully had the beauty way card, yoni, the beauty way. Yeah, it's feminine. There were lots of threes. There were 4 threes in this reading until we got the rattle on the split, and that was the 5th 3. And then there were 3 4s. So it's that idea of 12. It came up in a reading as well. It was talking about, there were like limiting beliefs. Thankfully, limiting beliefs haven't cropped up in this one, but the arrow was in that. And it was talking about the feminine swerving, like they would swerve a limitation, they wouldn't take themselves anywhere near it. Lilith demands, right, deals. She wouldn't let it happen, to be lured into this kind of deceptive hall of mirrorsy, solar gilded cage crack. No. So it's like, yeah, velociraptor kind of angel, velociraptor, very protective, but it's like giving you something to deal with, to not creating something to deal with. It's like something being brought in that needs to be kind of worked on or looked for or thought out anyway, to be understood. She's just bringing it into your line of attention at a particular time where this was especially kind of potent, or this was especially strong. So it was important. She's not distracting you with nonsense. She's distracting you with something that needed understanding or needed seeing anyway, right? So this is actually the more important thing. It's like, this is the gift, this is the power, this is the new tool, the thing, yeah? The true direction. They have to get this. And then that also then had to be understood, right? like the power and the pull that that kind of had. Yeah, there's something about like mastering it, mastering the 12th, or mastering a kind of particular aspect of the 12th. Yeah, like this kind of murky solar crack. I was going to pull some tarot cards, but I have decided to not do that because I think the video is long enough, so I think I will leave it there actually. So I hope that's been helpful, and I hope that's been helpful. Also doing this yoni and heart. Yeah, yoni and heart. Important, very deep connection. So yoni and heart, that is, I think, what the yoni steam, that kind of practice, that practice, it will, you'll be able to see your heart, you'll be able to see what your heart's telling you. There's a strong connection between yoni and heart. Yeah. I'm talking about coochies a lot. It doesn't mean that this message isn't relevant to you if you do not have one. You know, we all know women. You know, we all know women, meet women, partners, sisters, daughters, mothers, all the rest of it, just friends, you know. So, yoni, heart. She won't lead you astray, yeah. She knows. She won't lead you astray. All right, take care. Bye-bye.